I clicked live. We're going to be going live.
We can talk about this.
We can talk about it.
Yeah,
Man.
we'll talk about it. Okay.
Super. I got a couple people that didn't even know me to vote for me.
That's important.
And people were writing and telling me I had the best set of the night, but
Okay.
it doesn't matter. I knew.
Stop talking. Are we live?
Yep.
Well, introduce me. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, hi. So we're live.
Will you quit taking control so I can? Hey, you guys, this guy, try to stay on top of this guy. And I don't mean sexually. This, this guy is a good friend. I trust him. He's awesome. I love him. He loves me. And tonight we're talking about whatever comes up. And we never know. So
we never do know.
We never do.
Let's do 10 minutes, 3 hours later.
Yeah. And see, Richard Chassler, I put all his IMDb credits up there for y'all to look at on my last post. Check it out. He's a writer, director, producer. He's everything. Everything you ever aspire to be, he's done it and then some. So go look at his IMDb and then get back to us.
I am all things to all people who want to piss off their parents.
Let's talk to him. I love this guy. He's so real. He's in the moment. Richard Chassler, welcome to Comic Spot. Now it's your turn.
I love being on your show. And I adore you. And I know that you, let's start with the elephant in the room and get that shit out of the way quick.
Okay.
So you did I'm sorry, I'm looking for a bud to smoke. You did the Las Vegas comedy, what's it called? The American
Dante Ruscialelli and Rebecca Kokins.
Oh, this was Dante's thing. Oh, I thought you were doing the World Series of Comedy.
No, I didn't.
Oh, this is Dante's deal. Yeah, I could get it. Dante and Rebecca are good friends. You know that. That's how we met. Was at the Portland Comedy Festival. Geez, last year.
Yes.
And knife heads. And you know, it's funny, guy. You know, people who smoke pot, like we always like. You know, we sniff before we smoke. And what's funny is they're, you know, comics. We walk up to the mic. You know, they sniff the mic. You know, like, oh, I can use that. No, I'm just kidding. I own my own mic, so you know. So you did the comedy contest tonight. That would be the United States Comedy Competition.
Yes.
Right. Sponsored, and see, I got this tag on there. I purposely don't take them off. Dante and Rebecca.
Yeah.
And you competed tonight against, was it round one?
It was round one. It was all women, 4 women.
Now, did they do it that way, women and men, or did it just happen to work out that no guys were competing?
You got to pick whatever night you wanted, and it turned out 4 women wanted tonight.
Who was it?
Me, Ying Vigilon, she's from Spokane, and a girl from, like, I'm going to go with Oklahoma, and she was funny, and Alyssa Poteet, who was runner-up at the Portland Comedy Festival last year, right?
I think so. Is that right?
I think so. Something
Remember,
like
I
that.
didn't do the competition. I'm not a competition guy. We'll talk about that in a minute. So it was you and these 3 wonderful ladies, and one of them being my dear friend, Alyssa Poteet, who I coached a little bit after I met her.
Yep.
And so how did you do?
I had a fabulous set. I've been getting coaching from somebody in New York who will go unnamed. And I love, she doesn't get into...
No, you should. Who's your coach?
Well, my coach is Vanessa Hollingshead.
Oh, Vanessa's fantastic.
And you know, like, I like you getting into the formulation of the joke and the order, and you get into the deep science of it.
The mechanics.
Right? Yes.
The mechanics.
Where with her, it's, you give her a thought about your life, and she gives you ways, and you get to pick how you do it. And by the time you get done, you know, I've been taking her class. This Wednesday is the graduation.
Oh, maybe I'll watch it.
Would you? I would love it.
Send me the info. I will try.
Okay, you got it. I would love you there if you can try.
Sure, and I love Vanessa. I've known her for years.
Yeah, Oh my gosh. And so,
Maybe I should be teaching. Everyone tells me I should teach.
oh, are you kidding me with what you've done with me and I put out a post and you're like, bam, and you've got Mr. Answer Man.
Well, we'll talk about that too. So anyway, you went up against Alyssa Poteet. We digress a lot.
Which is
And
no small feat. I almost dropped out of the
she has tiny
competition.
little feet. She's only that big. She really you gotta have like size 2s. I adore Alyssa. That's great. So you went up against Alyssa, and how did that go?
Well, I have no regrets as far as I stayed in my character. I have a persona. I was totally me. The things I'm saying are authentic to my life, and there's a few exaggerations, not many, one or two. And I sold the shit out of it.
Good.
I delivered.
And you felt good about it.
Yeah, but see, like when Alyssa got there, they told her, your mic's cutting in and out. So when you perform, lean into your mic. Well, it's Alyssa. So I said, excuse me, Alyssa. What they meant to say is when you're performing, lean back away from your mic.
Hilarious. Because she can be a little bit loud and aggressive in her delivery.
No, because I wanted her not to win.
I was good. A little mind game, little comedy mind game, little women, catty.
Lean back.
Wow.
Little
Guys
friendly.
don't do that. Guys would be like, dude, is the mic really cutting out? I don't know, man. I think maybe it's just a shitty mic. All right, let's go with the 6-inch rule. Like, that's guys, you know. Women. The claws come out. Hey,
I was because I was so scared to go up against her.
Guys go like this. Hey, tell me if you think this is funny. Oh, all right, let me hear it. Women, hey, tell me if you think this is funny. It's not. Has anyone done that? I could be the first one to do this bit, and everyone afterwards would do it the hack. But I could be the first one to do the difference between male and female comedians. Has anyone done that yet?
No. Everybody thinks that they shouldn't, talk about comedians, comedy.
Oh, well, then that's exactly what I need to be talking about.
I'll give you all my material so you can make it good.
I'll talk about anything people think they shouldn't talk about. That will go right at the top of my fucking list. Yeah, you just have to slant it in a way that you don't look like a misogynistic jerk. In other words, you do the differences, but you have to make at the end women the winner.
Yes, I get it.
Do you know what I mean?
I do. Totally.
That's why I think it's okay if you step in shit, as long as the audience doesn't have to smell it and you don't leave it on your shoe too long. You know what I'm saying?
I do, because I do this thing about.
I need that. I don't want to forget that. That's another little new Rich Chassler quip. It's okay to step in shit as long as the audience doesn't smell it and you don't have to leave it on your shoe too long. I like that. So tell me about Alyssa's set. How was her set?
Her set was meaningful and deep and scary. And, I went up first, then I had to sit there and watch everybody else get laughs. And I will say
you got laughs too.
I had the best reaction I've ever had from a competition. I had people in the audience messaging me on chat, telling me how funny I am. And somebody that runs the competition from an outside way told me her husband voted for me. And that felt good.
People.
Yeah. I got my little strokes in, and I'm happy. I'm happy with that.
You should. Have you done a lot of? Look, I shouldn't be interviewing you. I'm just curious. Like, have you done competitions before? Other than, you did the competition at Portland, right?
I sent in my podcast. I didn't do jokes there
this year, but last year you did the competition.
I did it last year.
Right. And I didn't.
Yeah. I did five different sets last year.
I don't do competitions.
I know, because well, like you've got what, 35 years on me.
Yeah, but that's not why I don't do them.
Okay.
I don't do them because here, let me first tell you a story. That'll answer a big portion of the question. Last year, I was doing a festival. And it's a festival I do a lot. And at the festival, there's a competition. And the club owner was like, how come you never do the competition? You just do the festival. I'm like, bro, I don't do fucking competitions, man. I go, there's no way. It's just, I just don't do them. He goes, well, you should do the fucking competition. So-and-so's doing the competition. So-and-so's one of my really good friends. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'll do the competition. Even this is bugging me. So I said, fine, I'll do the competition. So I do the competition and I crush the room. Okay. And I don't make the top three. And I don't make the top three because two of the top three were newbie open micers who all brought 20 or 30 people with them to the show. Yep. Right? So yep. The room had maybe 100 people in it. You know what I mean? No, not even. Not even. It was a light night. There were less. Because I remember my buddy and I stood in the back and we did the math. We went, oh, there's no way. Like, it's just, like if the show was being judged by industry people, an agent, a manager, the local radio guy, even. I think that's as low as I go as the local radio guy. Nobody below him. Nobody below the local radio guy. I would do it. But no offense, I don't want to be at the mercy of people who rally their, 30 friends to come out and cause an audience reaction when they put their hand over their head. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the guy at the graduation who had nobody there to clap for him when they said his name.
Yes.
But I don't come from that. So I was like, why should I not have anybody clap for me? I'm like, oh, I didn't bring anybody, which makes it a bringer competition.
Yes.
And I don't do bringer shows. No offense to those who do.
No offense taken.
They just didn't exist when I started. I never had to,
Yeah.
But that's why I don't do competitions. Like I said, if it was the kind of thing like Star Search, like kind of thing that was being judged by industry professionals, different case, like I would go on AGT. I'm thinking about it.
Nice.
I'm thinking about going on AGT. I have a pretty interesting story.
Cool. I want to hear it.
Well, I don't know if I should. Well, I don't know if I should tell it right now. I don't know how many people are watching or will be watching. I'd rather save it for the airwaves.
I don't blame you.
But I'm proud of you for doing the competition.
Thank you. Bordeaux. Yeah. Bordeaux?
Yes.
Bordeaux. Did you know the wines from Oregon off the 45th parallel are supposed to be something special?
They are.
I just found out.
Oregon wines are incredible. I am a big fan. In fact, I know this is going to be weird, but I think I like Oregon wine better than Cali.
Wow.
Washington also. Washington Syrah rivals Cali Syrah, and I love Cali Syrah, but yeah, I think I might like Oregon wine better than California wine. California wine got so full of itself. I mean, the epitome of snooty snoot fuckity fuck, that it out snooty snooted itself. That when Yao Ming is playing basketball and releases wine, his original release he put on the market at $600 a bottle.
Gee,
like, fuck off, Yao. I'm like,
wow,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yao Ding, more like Ao Ming.
Oh, geez. Yeah. So what's going on in your life? You were with a writing partner. What kind of things most artists are involved in numerous projects? What haven't you done and what are you working on?
Like I haven't painted a fence. That I don't think I've ever painted a fence. So I think I need to do that.
Would you do it with a brush or with like one of them spray things?
Oh, I would go to Home Depot, get one of those spray things, paint the fence, then return it to Home Depot. Yeah,
I'd go pick up a couple men at Home Depot,
there you go.
have them paint the fence and then paint me.
Bang them, paint you, and not return them. Fuck,
Yeah,
fucking
they're
filth.
damaged. You get no refund.
Yeah, of course. I'd like to bring these guys back. Sorry, you used them.
They're not the same. Yeah, it was the competition was fun, and in Portland it was by votes as well. So I knew that going in. I have no complaint about the fact that I didn't bring people and I didn't get votes. I know that my material was killer.
Right. See, that's the thing. You crush a room, and then it's audience applause for passing through. And when there's 70 people in the room and 35 of them are there for one person who's been doing comedy 6 months, and you're like, my friend and I were in the back of the room. We literally looked at each other and went, "This is why neither of us do stupid competitions." Like, you know.
Yes. I like all the furniture in the background. You have beautiful
Oh, it's all
furniture.
staged. This is a false background.
Really?
Yeah, nothing's real behind me. No,
Are you kidding? No.
I'm just kidding. I have a
It's
lot of
pretty.
art. I have a lot of art and stuff. Thank
Nice.
you.
Who's your favorite artist in the world that you have, and who's the favoritist you don't have? Favoritist. It's like
My
titleist.
favoriteest artist. Well, I collect various different types of art. I collect a lot of pop art, San Francisco rock art from the 60s and 70s, you know, Bill Graham posters from the concerts that they used to do. I have a lot of that stuff. I think that if I could have any piece of artwork from an artist that I just would love, I mean, it could be Basquiat,
I've heard the name.
Jean-Michel Basquiat, um, or Francis Bacon, maybe. Of course, that would be millions and millions. But you know, the art's awesome. Two very different types of artists, but you know, you know, two great artists nonetheless, but very different.
What
Basquiat,
it
go ahead.
explain the difference?
Well, Basquiat was, you know, a pop surrealist who came up in the 80s in New York City, painting what he called street life, you know, and became a massive sensation and painted work that depicted what Basquiat saw on the street. A lot of people, a lot of art critics called Basquiat full of shit because he actually came from a pretty well-to-do family on Long Island, moved to New York City, played the role of like a homeless street guy, starving artist dude who, you know, but his art was still brilliant nonetheless.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I'd love to own a Basquiat. His stuff's amazing. And Francis Bacon painted more, you know, I mean, his stuff really depicts life in America. It's, you know, it's a little more historical, but it's deep work too. I mean, both are great.
Yeah. So have you ever done artwork yourself?
I can't fucking draw for the life of me. I wish I could. It's like one of the only art forms I can't do. In fact, when I directed my film Stop, I was insistent upon doing the storyboards myself. So I started drawing them, and I actually still have them. And if you look at them, it's hilarious because they start out as stick figures. Literally, I'm drawing one-dimensional stick figures. And as I'm doing it, you can see the work progress to a way that I'm trying to draw it three-dimensionally, like I'm trying to see it. Someone said to me, it's about how you see it. Okay, art's about how you see it in your mind's eye. Okay, so you have to learn how to see what it is you're trying to. So I just took that one little piece of information and sat there and tried to draw more stuff, you know, and it looked better as I got further along, but it was horribly painstaking to me. You know, drawing is not, I don't have that. It never came to me.
Me neither.
No,
Me
I
neither.
can't draw. I sing, I play 5 instruments, I can tap dance, I write, I act, do stand-up comedy, whatever else I do, but I can't fucking draw.
Are you presently auditioning for acting roles?
Well,
Is that
they're just starting up again, and they're having Zoom auditions.
yeah.
You know,
How's that treating you?
it's all right. It's not great. It's not my fault. My agent's just not. I don't know. They're not. I just like literally called them last week, and I was like, chop choppity chop.
Yeah. Meaning get busy. You're telling them to get busy.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah.
Name the movie.
That's a bummer when you've got to motivate them.
You always do. That's
Really?
not a bummer. That's
Really?
that's the fucking, yeah, that's status quo of the industry. You're always going to have to be your best agent. You're always going to have to, yes, absolutely. And they, I'm one of those squeaky wheel gets the grease kind of people. I like a lot of grease.
You're your own advocate.
I squeak a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah. You don't work for your agent.
Yeah. I've never had, I've had a couple people that want to manage my comedy career.
You don't have a comedy career yet.
Thank
you. Don't have
you.
anything to manage.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, if they want to sign you, they can sign you and develop you.
Yes. I think that's what they're talking about, but they don't know how to word it any better than I do.
Well, then they're not good enough to do it.
Thank you.
You know what I want to do with you? I want to sign you, and I want to I see something. I can't figure it out. I don't know what it is or what I want to do with you, but I know I want to do something in a way so other people will eventually know who we are. I got to figure that out. I wonder what they call that.
That's exactly who I've had come after me. It's pretty funny.
Well, again, how long you been at it now?
6.5 years.
6.5 years.
Yeah, it's like nothing. It's like chump change to you.
No, maybe you could get someone to get you an agent. You could definitely be doing commercials. You're definitely the next Clara. What's her face? Do you remember Clara? Where's the beef?
Oh.
Clara was great.
Did you know her?
No, I auditioned with her once, though. I couldn't say I know her, no. But when I was a kid, I just started doing auditions. I went to a commercial audition, and Clara was at the audition. And I read with her, and it was weird. And I didn't know anything. I was a kid. I was 20, maybe 19. And I meet her. And they're like, Richard, this is Clara. Clara, this is Richard. And I recognize her right away. And I go, and she goes, don't you fuck. She literally goes, don't you fucking dare. Because everybody goes, where's the bit? You know what I mean? That was one of those things that taught me, like, one of those early lessons, like, yeah, don't, you're in the same business.
Yes. Don't get so enamored by it.
Yeah. But you could be the funny old broad.
Cool.
Serious.
I believe it.
Yeah. So maybe somebody, you could tell me off camera who these people were that approached you, and, we'll see if maybe,
Yeah. When they approach me, then they have all kinds of plans for me. Like, okay, first thing you're going to need to do is go get your headshot. Then you're going to need to do this. Then you're going to need, like,
what is
what
this?
makes, huh?
What is this? What is the plan?
I know. And if I see what we're going after, and you enroll me in the possibility of me getting busy to do something. But if it's just, okay, you need pictures, you need to spend money, you need to go do this, you need to go do that. It's like,
What
Do
are
I
they
really?
telling you? I'm asking, what are the go do this and go do that?
Go get your headshot.
You mentioned that.
Electronic press kit.
Okay, an EP, that's easy.
And I don't have any. I make my own pictures with
You can
selfies.
Honest press kit. No more selfies. No more selfies. You'll get shot for $250. You'll get a good headshot.
And the headshots I see coming out, who do you find? You gotta.
Well, you're in Vegas. Okay, Vegas has a community of showbiz industry there.
Yeah.
So there's going to be headshot photographers there.
Just do it.
Go look at their book. You pull up 5 headshot photographers, look at their work, see whose work you like. Or ask 10 guys in Vegas. Hey, ask Steve Pearl, ask Don, ask my friends. Hey, do you do headshots here in Vegas? Who does your headshots here in Vegas? Ask Don. He'll give you Don. Start with Don.
Okay.
All right. Barnhart knows everybody in Vegas. All right. If he can't point you in the direction in Vegas, then nobody can. Come to LA and get your pictures done by Troy. But ask Barnhart if there's anyone in Vegas he would recommend to get your headshots done. Good headshots, not expensive. That's what you want.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Start with Don.
Yeah. What's important to me is that I figure out my persona, and I've figured out my persona. And so my persona is this, plus I don't really care what anyone thinks. I'm this goofy person on stage.
You're funny old broad.
Yeah. And I don't care what anybody thinks.
People don't. That's why they fart with impunity. That's why your grandmother is getting something out of the refrigerator and just lets one rip. Everyone hears it. She knows. Doesn't even turn around and say anything like, oh, that was me. Not a word. Doesn't care. That's what happens to you people once you hit 70.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that next year. I'm having fun developing my material.
That's a great joke, by the way. Just wrote a great joke.
I did?
Great. You didn't write it, I did, but you formulated it by saying, I'm looking forward to that next year. Next year, you can even do the joke and tag it with the explanation and paint the picture if you want to. But I would do that joke. I turn 70 next year, which means I'm looking forward to farting without impunity. You know how old people can do that. We can just walk into a room, open the fridge, get some orange juice, let one rip. Oh, you think we don't hear it? We know. I can do it at 70. That's fucking funny to me. And then
you don't mind if I use that and you wrote it?
I gave it to you. And then you're going to share it with me. I can only do it on the road. And then you're going to share it with me. But then you can tag it with other things old people can do without impunity. Once you hit a certain age, like I can switch lanes and cut people off without a signal in a car that is absolutely not up to safety standards.
That's funny.
I didn't name the car. I didn't say anything that was wrong with it. I painted the picture of a 1962 Dodge Dart with a hole in the floor. Do you see? But you know what I mean?
I get it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Just by saying a car not up to safety standards, it paints such a great picture.
And they're busy paint. What's the difference between the theory that you can't make people think, or the funny, it loses the funny? It's death to make people think and let them paint the picture.
I don't agree with either one of those.
Okay, talk to me.
Your job, what we do as artists, is paint pictures with words.
Okay.
That's what we do as stand-up comedians. A portion of that art form is comprised of painting pictures with words. Period. Those who don't paint clear pictures aren't writing clear setups. They're muddy, okay? Because when you are writing something that's definitive, the receiver gets to bask in this vision in their head. It's like reading a book. I mean, why do people love reading Steinbeck? Please tell me you've read John Steinbeck. Jesus fuck, Linda, you've never read Grapes of Wrath, East of Eden, Cannery Row? Nothing? Holy shit, what were you doing? Like, well, you just did you do nothing but suck dick for 50 years? The fuck? You have kids? Like, well, I mean, seriously.
I'd love to feel guilty about this and share your passion for what I did wrong in my life. Do you have any idea how many times people have tried to make me feel guilty for what I haven't done in my life?
Oh, listen, I'm not trying to make you feel guilty for anything. I'm just surprised because you went to school at a time where you had to read these books.
No, I had to drag the books back and forth to fake it like I was studying.
No, the assignment was not to fake it. The assignment was to read it.
See, in my day, men were staying out of Vietnam by getting the good grades, so it didn't matter if I studied. That's my excuse. Go ahead, splurge.
You were born in 50?
51.
Oh, I thought you were born in like 30.
I read one book.
Like first generation automobiles.
I read one book in my life, A Stone for Danny Fisher.
Stone for Danny Fisher is a good book.
Yeah, I loved it. I couldn't put the book down.
Imagine how many more great books there are. By the way, reading makes you a great comedian.
Right.
Sorry, folks. Anyone who's watching this that goes, sorry. Talk to any of the brilliant ones. Talk to Steve Martin. Talk to David Brenner. Well, you can't because he's dead. Talk to Kinnison. Everyone. Well-read. What does that give you if you're well-read? A plethora of reference.
Absolutely.
You have much more places from which to launch your material references.
You can paint pictures.
Smarter pictures. So what was that about the next part? About making the audience think?
So some people, you know how there's all these theories out there, and some people say if you need to paint a picture, yeah, it has to do with reading. Yeah. I'm not enjoying this right now.
You're the one who started it. I had no. So tell me the second part. The second part.
Well, if you're painting pictures, then you're helping people get to the funny. You're helping them relax and enjoy the ride.
Well, the irony is the second picture. That's the punchline.
Talk to me about it.
Your setup, you're painting a picture when you set something up, right?
Yes.
You want to have a good time? Next time you go to your friend's house, ask to use the bathroom. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now you've got a smile on your face because I want to have a good time. Next time you go to your friend's house, ask to use the bathroom. It's a pretty simple setup. You can imagine yourself walking into the bathroom, going up to wherever friend you chose, you know that, right? And the punchline is, and take a bath.
You've told me this before, and
Correct.
I love this. So you painted a picture and you flipped it.
Painted one picture, and then I painted a second picture, which is the irony of the first picture. I could even go so far as to say the logical irony of the first picture. But the pictures are very defined. It's a simple joke. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even if I talk about like Catalina Island, you know, like on Catalina Island, they don't drive cars there. Okay, so now I've painted a picture of an island with no vehicles. You know what they drive there? Golf carts. See the picture now? An island, Catalina, golf carts. I got a ticket in the golf cart. Now you have an image in your head of me getting pulled over by a cop in a cop cart. But I say, yeah, I got pulled over. Yeah. Got no lights or sirens. I'm driving, guy behind me, beep. I turn around and look, there's a cop in a golf cart. No lights or sirens, just a cop in a golf cart going, beep. See, it's really clear painting, and that's what you're doing. You're taking that setup, you're painting a logical opposite to it, that punchline. But you're painting clear pictures. So whoever said you don't paint, let them paint. No, you're painting, they're receiving it. Okay, like the author of a book, you're painting. But the guy who writes the fucking menu at Denny's, succulent, juicy, grilled, adjectives. Adjectives paint pictures. They're descriptors, right? Don't we know our parts of speech? Adjectives. That's why when you read a menu, they don't say steak, $11.95. And in the descriptor, it doesn't say cooked.
Got it.
Right? It doesn't say that. It's chock full of adjectives. It's giving you, your mind, a picture that is causing your senses to have a visceral reaction, and your mouth waters from those descriptors. You can do a joke that does that to people and then flip it on them.
Wow.
You get really down and really quiet. You're painting this thing about the thing and they're going to, and then come out.
I like whatever that.
It's your artwork that you're leaving on the brain of the audience member as a stand-up comedian. No one's going to change that. That's straight up. That's the action that's happening. You're not giving the audience an array of brushes and paints for which them to choose how they're going to paint the interpretation of what you're giving them. If your comedy is written properly, there is no interpretation and room. No, you're giving it to them because it's succinct and taking them. No. Otherwise, what are they going to be? They're going to be chasing a joke around that might not even exist. No, I don't agree with that at all.
That's cool. I like that.
And the next one you said was about thinking. Don't make the audience think.
Yeah, making the audience think is the death of comedy.
Tell that to Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, me, Elaine Boozler, Sarah Silverman. Do you want me to keep going? I mean,
no, I mean, that's great.
I mean, tell that to fucking, tell that to any of the fucking people I look at as being brilliant. Tell it to my really dear friend who I toured with for 5 years. Tell it to Mitch Hedberg.
Wow. Let me ask you another question.
Sure.
This is probably a lie I heard. People cannot handle two emotions at the same time on stage.
Well, it's not on stage. Stella Adler
actually
once said to me, the human beings can't experience two emotions at the same time. As an acting coach, as an actor, I tell this to students, that you can switch very quickly between happiness and sadness, happiness and sadness, happiness and sadness, but you're not going to feel them both at the same time. The way your synapses work in your emotional part of your brain doesn't allow that transfer of two emotional responses at the same time. That's
got it.
What was taught to me by Stella Adler. So is it correct? Don't know. But I know that it made perfectly good sense to me as an actor.
Have you done a set list where the first joke is about excitement and then you switch up the emotion for the next joke and then you switch up for the next? So am I so basic? Is this pissing you off?
Not at all. It's beautiful because
this is what I do.
No, and you shouldn't do that either. And the reason you shouldn't do that either is because you're taking the organic progression of the act away.
Okay.
Act has to have a through line. Okay. Unless you're a person who does nothing but one-liners. Joke, joke, Geechee guy, Mitch Hedberg. But even Mitch had a through line in his comedy, and we used to talk about this. Unless you're that guy, joke, 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 then no, I don't think that that's the way at all. I think that there has to be your act has to be cohesive so that when you get off stage, people know who you are. Your job, I don't think part of the job is to try to level out the audience's emotions. I think it is to be able to whip them into a frenzy when you want to, and then take them down again so that you can whip them into a frenzy again.
Wow.
Okay, that's the thing. You need to be able to control how the audience is receiving, and you'll use material and pauses and breaks in your act and stuff like that to get them to a place where you want them. It's like putting the golf ball on the tee and setting it up to reel back and hit the golf balls, like literally teeing up the audience. I never thought about it that way before, but that's kind of like what you're doing is you're teeing up the audience. And you have every right to do so. It's like a painter priming a canvas before they paint on it, or a singer warming up his vocal cords backstage before he walks out to do a concert.
Okay, here's another theory that young aspiring baby comics throw out there to piss each other off and make each.
Go ahead. I'm just grabbing a corkscrew. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm listening. Young aspiring baby comedians coming up with theories based on nothing because they have no factual basis at all. Go ahead.
And they're all spewing things, and sometimes it's done on purpose to get others to quit comedy or to frustrate others or to encourage them, whatever. But there's theories out there like you should get 6 laughs a minute.
Really?
You're not getting 6 laughs a minute, you should give up.
Well, there's a certain truth to that, but that's an idiotic statement to make. Okay, 6 laughs a minute. Let's break that down. What's 60 seconds divided by 6? 10 seconds. Okay, a laugh every 10 seconds. Okay, so an audience member has an average attention span of 8 to 10 seconds. So if you are averaging 4 to 6 laughs a minute, you're doing well. There's a big fat however there. Okay, and this is why you shouldn't listen to anybody at your level or below you because they're morons unless they're on the road. Everyone's got a different style of stand-up. Some people might take 15 seconds to set something up. Okay, so I've just lowered my LPMs. LPM being laugh per minute.
Yes.
Okay, so I've lowered my LPMs but I have earned the right to do that with the audience because for the last 20 minutes, I've ripped them a brand new fucking asshole. Okay, so now I have the right to slow things down and take a minute and order a drink from the bar while I'm on stage and get a glass of wine. And, I have the right to do that. I've earned it. Okay, so you got to get a laugh every 10 seconds, otherwise you suck. Yeah. By the way, that person, you tell them, okay, well, when are you up? Because I'm going to clock you. Let's see if you get a laugh every 10 seconds, Mr. Fucking Know-It-All. Okay,
here's another theory. One of my scenarios is I'm wearing headphones so I can hear what you're saying. So when I'm
smelling my 2016 Bordeaux.
Yes. Back when we had good elections oh, well, never mind. So,
oh yeah.
Trump. So
I should die.
I'm not a Trumper, but I couldn't resist the reference to voting. People say, when you're on stage, What was my thought? I had a thought of something people say. Now I forgot it. And I'm not drinking.
Should be.
They say all kinds of things,
There's all these myths that you guys bask yourself in. And I listen to all you guys stand around and fucking jerk each other off with all this, you really gotta, and blah, 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 and and. And I'm like standing there going, what you got to do is get on the phone and get the fuck out of town and go on the road if you want to call yourself a comedian.
When you wear headphones. I'm wearing headphones because somebody said, you're not professional with headphones. So I went and got myself some headphones.
Headphones are great when you're doing a podcast. It makes a difference.
Yeah. Same thing with the microphone. I didn't get it because it's shaped like a penis. Although I did think about that, and they don't have vibrate. But the point is that
By the way, okay, so you want to talk about the joke you did?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't want to get a microphone because it's shaped like a penis. You just told me you're gay.
Don't want to do that joke.
So why didn't you want to get the microphone? How about I couldn't wait to get the microphone? It's shaped like a penis.
Because I think that's been done so much.
The whole joke's been done.
Yeah.
The whole dick joke's been done. All right.
Yeah.
So the only thing you can really say is even big black dick's been done. You can say like mandingo. I call my microphone mandingo because it's a big black penis I'm never gonna suck. Like that's about the only joke you can probably do.
I know.
But the logic of saying I was afraid to get a microphone because it looks like a penis, the implication of that is you don't like penises.
Well, that's not the truth, but it bothers me that it doesn't have a vibrate button.
Okay.
Because it doesn't come with a man. What good is...
There you go.
Lorena Bobbitt. What is this? Lorena's leftovers?
There you go. I got a microphone. It's a very phallic thing. It looks like a penis, but it's kind of useless because let's be honest, I do my show with this. What am I really going to do? I mean, it's not attached to a guy, so it can't like open a ketchup bottle for me. You see what I'm saying? You see? But again, what you said to me is you can't say always from now on when you do a joke, I want you to stop and I want you to break it down. I want you to look at the very first sentence and the second sentence and make sure that what you're saying is what you're trying to say. Because like I said, the picture you painted for me with those two sentences, I was afraid to get a microphone, looks like a penis. Oh, you don't like penises. So make sure that you're wording your stuff correctly.
Got it.
Don't let anybody tell you words don't matter. Every motherfucking syllable matters in comedy because that's the rhythm of the joke. And by changing a word so it has one less syllable and one less beat in that particular thread or setup could make the difference as how the audience member receives that beat. And it makes a difference. So when people talk about comedy timing and rhythm, I've been a drummer since I'm 7 years old. There's a fucking rhythm to comedy. It makes a difference. There's a fluidity to how it works, and you can count it out.
Wow.
You can count out playing jazz. Absolutely.
So question for you, and I know you don't want to go on forever.
It's okay. We always do.
We always do. So
15-minute interview we've ever done.
Have you ever played music while you're writing jokes and written the material to the music? Because I know somebody in LA who's done that, who's successful. Maya DiGiorgio.
I love Maya.
She does that. She turns on rock music and writes material to it.
Well, I always have music playing, or some kind of ambient sound in the background. I listen to a lot of, rock and roll, big time Deadhead, as you know. So I have music on a lot. And I would say that my comedy sort of has a little bit of fluidity or rhythm of anything from what I listen to. It might be very milky and easy to get in like the Dead, or it might all of a sudden turn into Led Zeppelin.
Okay, here's two other opposing theories I've gotten from people that think they know comedy.
I love these people.
One person said you got to get right to the first joke. You got to
Agreed.
get a laugh right away.
Great.
Another said, take your time. Go purposefully slow and do a good setup and let them be uncomfortable that you feel comfortable to take your time and have a damn good punchline.
That person's a moron.
Got it.
Okay. The first person's correct. When you walk on stage, get a laugh. The minute you get, okay, the reason why the first guy's right and the second guy's wrong is the following. The first guy is right because when you get on stage, the audience has an attention span of 7 to 10 seconds. That's how long you have to get them to listen to the rest of your act. If you don't have their attention and get them laughing quickly, why are they going to hang in for you? Are you a name they know? Do they have a social investment? Do they have an artistic investment? Like, what's the investment in waiting to see the old lady is going to get me to laugh after how much time? I've already seen 7 comics. Opening line, need an opening line. I've told you this before. Need an opening line. Every motherfucking time you walk on stage, every time. That's the first thing that come out of your mouth.
My opening line works.
Did I write it?
No.
What is it?
I just turned 21. That's the first line. Then I tag it with for the third time.
By the way, that's not, hold on. That's a setup. Okay.
It gets a laugh. My setup gets a laugh.
Setup gets a laugh.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. That means it's like a starch protein. It's serving 2 purposes.
Okay.
Thank you. I just turned 20. Thank you. It's good to be here. I just turned 21. Okay. They laugh. Now, what's the punchline? I'm going to
for the third time.
Okay. Not bad.
And then I say plus 6 years. I'm not going to lie.
No, I don't even need you know that. But
I know.
For the third time is funny. Mine was now I can drink legally.
Now I can drink 3 times as much legally.
Okay, you're learning. That would be logical if we do it this way. Thank you. It's nice to be here. I'm celebrating. I just turned 21. Boom, 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 boom. For the third time. Thank you very much. Now I can actually drink 3 times as much legally. Great tag.
Thank you.
That's the tag. You see how we structured that?
Because of you.
You have a setup. I just turned 21. If they laugh at it, great. It's a one-off. So you should get, then you're going to punch that. Then you're going to tag it.
Got it.
All right. But I just turned 21 is really a setup unless, again, they bring you out dressed, again, because you're clearly not 21, it is also a one-off joke. But you're going to punch it and tag it, which means you choose to use the joke in this manner as opposed to this manner. The joke is a wobbler. It can go in either direction, kind of like a felony that's also a misdemeanor. They call those wobblers. Not that I've ever had a brush with the law. I'm saying that joke's a wobbler. Thank you. I just turned 21. You could do that joke and leave it alone and then move on. That will still get a laugh. And that's, you see what I'm saying? You can choose to use it that way.
Got it.
Okay. So if you ever do the joke and it doesn't get a laugh, do you have a savior for it? Because you need a savior for it. It's your opening line.
Yeah.
You can't bail on it. You need a savior. Oh, you don't believe me? You want to see my ID?
You want to count the rings around my trunk?
No, that's the tag.
Okay.
That's my ID. Cut me open and count my rings, not around my trunk, because the rings aren't around the trunk. They're inside the trunk. So you could just say, cut me open, count the rings.
I love it. Thank you.
See the picture?
Yes. I
Cut me
do.
open, count the rings.
It's short, no extra words, and it paints a picture.
Cut me open, count the rings. That's it. Boom, boom. And you kick them in the teeth. By the way, this is how you open. Then you can slow it down and you can do this and that. But in the beginning, you go on stage, you kick them in the teeth, you take no prisoners, you get those laughs so that they will listen to you talk more.
Got it. Okay? And then I say, I'm from a really strange town. Maybe you've heard of it in the news, Portland, Oregon. And because it's been in the news, they laugh about Portland, Oregon.
But what is the operative word in that setup?
Strange.
Correct.
Nothing good comes from there.
Why is it strange?
It's strange because they've been burning down statues. My town started out very serene, and now it's like upside down town.
I don't like the word strange.
Okay.
Strange to me is the Addams family. I'm serious. That's why I said, tell me about it. What's strange? Your description is not supporting the word.
Okay.
So the operative is strange in the setup.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was
take it out.
Take it out. Change it. Find a new adjective to describe what it is you want to say. But strange is not it. You could say, I come from a two-faced town.
Ooh.
Okay. You could say, I come from a town full of surprises. You could say whatever it is, but I don't know what it is. And I'm not saying use those. I'm just saying strange is not good. It's an easy out because you didn't want to break the joke down and think, or didn't know how to break the joke down and think about really, what is it I'm trying to say? What's the picture I need to paint so that it will support the point I'm making is that it used to be full of hippies. Now it's full of Trumpies.
Got it. So tonight
Portland was a place that you would sing Kumbaya in the street instead of, what rhymes with Kumbaya? That would be like, you're on my foot, or bombs go boom, That's funny.
Sis boom ba.
Bombs go boom, guns go boom, You know what I'm saying? Because it went from Kumbaya to guns go boom.
Got it.
So
got it.
See what I'm saying? Do you get the picture I'm painting?
Yeah, I did.
You're going, it was peace and love. Now it's crazy.
It was, I said, I'm exact. So I said, I just turned 21, that joke. And then I went to something about
a strange town, Portland, Oregon.
What?
You're going from a strange town, Portland, Oregon. Are we still live? Are we doing this live on Facebook? Are people watching this?
Yeah.
They shouldn't be watching this. This is like well, I guess they're getting a free lesson in breaking down jokes. Are comedians watching this?
Yeah, they'll probably watch it.
Oh, well, then they should DM me. I will be happy to charge them money for this in the future.
Yes.
Okay.
He does this.
I do coaching.
I said, I think I said tonight, I'm from a really weird town. Nothing good comes from there. Portland, Oregon. Maybe you heard.
Lots of good stuff comes from Portland, Oregon. First of all,
I know.
That's why, again, illogical setup.
I get it. I hear you. I know this.
If I were in the audience as a comedian, I go, she's lying. Right away, I go, she's lying. I know when comedians are lying to me. I always know. And I can tell by breaking down their jokes. And right away, if you said nothing good comes from this place, I'd be like, she's lying. Either that or she's about to tell me how every male member of her family fucked her and every female member of her family. One of those two things. She's either lying or she's going to tell me about something horrible in Portland. But
so I say that nothing good comes from that town, including me.
Well, that's not true, though. Now we don't like you.
Well, that's I'm not going to defend. It wasn't. I'm just going to skip right where it came from. Right. So what's a better way to say that?
Are you? But my question is, are you bad? Are you selling yourself as bad?
I kind of don't like it because it's up front in the beginning and it loses my I've got a lot of likability, right? And so it loses it.
Nothing good comes from that place, including me. The only logical that is, I go, seriously, you're looking at a modern day Ma Barker. 37 bank robberies, and I still peddle meth. That's the punchline to nothing good comes from it. You literally said, I'm not good. Portland's not good. Nothing good comes from Portland, including me. So let me tell you how bad I am.
So that's not a fit for me. So that joke's got to go.
That's not what you're selling. If you're selling badass motorcycle mama, then it's perfect for you.
It doesn't fit and it's not true.
There's another way to paint the picture of you being a dirty old lady without saying you're not good or the place you're from isn't good. Okay? You know, Portland, you guys have the Trailblazers. You know, the object of Portland is that the city's just a total constant letdown.
So true. It's exactly how I feel. Well, that's what I mean. Nothing good comes from there.
Well, that's not, but that you can't say that. You can say we have so much good in Portland and it never goes anywhere. Talk about a city full of letdowns. Okay. And you can talk about, is it true that Voodoo Donuts, the guy who owns Voodoo Donuts turned out to be like a bad dude? Do you know about this?
Not in depth, but yes.
So you could even bring, so that's one. The Trailblazers is two. You could be three. Calling yourself a letdown is not calling yourself bad. There's a difference. Okay?
Got it.
You being a letdown could at some point transfer you into or segue you into my kid doesn't talk to me if you talk about that on stage. You've already, you don't talk about that on stage yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, when you get there, you get there. But the point is that as long as you're telling the truth, then your plug-in spots will all be genuine. So getting stuff to fill them will be easy. You're not going to be looking at something barren going, what could I write to fit there? Well, why do you need to write something to fit there? Well, because what it's coming off of isn't actually truthful. It was kind of made up, so I have to make something up to complement that.
I love that.
And that's why, like, I know comics who write that way, and I can't stand watching them.
I don't like that in there, and I'm glad that I said it to you.
Go ahead.
Then after I say Portland's a letdown and why, because I've changed it now, I had to get the hell out of there.
Town full of letdowns. Okay, you could just go look. I'm from Portland, Oregon, a town full of letdowns. Okay, perhaps you've heard of the Trailblazers.
1976.
Now you don't even need, you can tag it if you want. A town full of letdowns is the setup. Perhaps you've heard of the Trailblazers. Punchline. Now, if you want to tag that, you could say 1976, 1981, 1992, 3, 4, 5. And 2000, like you can do that if you want. You've just owned the men. If you do that, now you just bought favor with the guys in the room. They will now listen to every word you say.
Got it.
You just made yourself cool.
Okay.
Okay. It's a very simple thing, and it's not if it's you know whatever. But that's the first thing you're going to say. You'll talk about another one. Maybe you guys know Voodoo Donuts.
I like picking on Tanya Harding.
She's from Portland?
Yeah, well, she's from across the river, but she ice skated in Oregon, so Oregon claims her.
Fine. Then what you want to say is, you'll start with, yeah, you've heard of the Trailblazers, right? Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Then you can go like, oh yeah, how about this? And you make it like it's a new thought. See, that's what I do. I make everything like it's a new thought. You know, oh, how about Tanya Harding? Whack that knee, Nancy. Yeah, she wasn't actually from Oregon. She was from across the river, but I guess they didn't like her on that side of the river. So she came to our side of the river to skate. So we get the bad rap again. Thanks for the letdown, Portland. You see, that's what you're talking about, is Portland being a letdown.
Got it.
The topic. I'm from a place that's a bit
continual letdown. And then I had to get the hell out of there.
You need
So
one more. You got Tanya Harding.
me.
Oh, okay. Why are you a letdown? And of course, me.
And of course,
I'd say we had the hippies. Hey, Portland had the hippies. We were the coolest place in the world. Now we've got lunatics with guns and flak jackets on the street. How did that happen? How did we go to Grateful Dead to Bang Your Dead? I can't believe I'm giving you that joke. How many people are watching right now?
Let me go look. Probably 10.
They just saw a brilliant joke get written.
It's beautiful.
I want that.
You want it?
I don't even want to give that. I almost don't want to give that joke away. I'll give you another joke.
Okay, you can have it back. I'm scratching it.
Damn, that joke is fucking good. How did we go from Grateful Dead to Bang Your Dead? Yeah,
it's your joke.
I'm going to give you a joke equally as good, but I do Grateful Dead, so that's why it's
It's yours.
We have idiots with we had hippies singing Kumbaya on the town square. Now we have lunatics with flak jackets and AR-15s running around in the street. How did we go from flower children to romper room children? No. How did we go from flower children to what? How did we go from flower children to let's see. The petulant children? No. Let's see. How do we go from hippies to flippies?
How did we go from laid back to?
How do we go from laid back to laid to rest? Fuck you, motherfucker. All right?
Laid back to
laid to rest. Your audience just saw 2 brilliant jokes get written in less than 60 seconds.
I love it. Thank you.
I love them both. Guy, I told you I'll give you a joke equally as good.
You did it. Give me 5.
How do we go from laid back to laid to rest? Seriously, Portland. And we don't even do barbecue. Now, do you know why that's funny?
No. It has to do with cooking a dead body?
Nope. It's funny because all these towns in America, Kansas City, San Antonio, they all claim their barbecue. Everybody's known for their barbecue. Okay? It's such a ridiculously stupid joke because Portland is not. So you're saying, and we're not even known for our barbecue, which is really fucking funny. Super smart, total chafe. Really, it's just a flake off, but I think it's funny as shit. And I would do it to bring that. That's how you smooth out the end of the joke. That's your rap.
Got it. That's the pink bow on the box.
We're not even known for our barbecue.
So then
it's hilarious. God, I'm funny tonight.
I got sick and tired of Portland because I was very insecure as well. Not of myself, of the hipsters with their strip clubs and their what? No.
Okay, so you can't. How many words? So many words.
I'm kind of right now nervous, and so I say extra words when I'm nervous. I'm not nervous on stage. Right. I'm nervous in front of one person, probably you.
Strip clubs are not hipsters. Strip clubs are dirtbags. Those are the guys who don't want to fuck their wives. So don't put strip clubs with hipsters. Just
okay. I got sick and tired of Portland with so many.
When?
I got what?
When?
I left Portland because I got sick and tired of strip clubs. I got sick and tired of all the foo-foo coffee shops.
When did you leave Portland? What year?
A year ago.
Oh, you were born and raised in Portland and stayed forever. Oh,
well, I've taken many trips, but I
don't care about trips. You lived in Portland.
Yes.
Okay, you didn't tell me that. So we don't know that then.
Gotcha.
All right. I lived in Portland my whole life.
Okay.
Until last year. I finally had to leave. I couldn't take the foo-foo coffee shops, the strip clubs, and what else?
Foo-foo coffee shops and strip clubs.
No. Comedy comes in threes.
food, coffee shops, strip clubs, and
why'd you really leave? Why'd you leave Portland? I'm asking.
I left Portland because I'm in it for comedy. I'm not a lesbian, and there's a lot of. Do you want me to tell you the truth?
Keep talking. Yes.
And there's a lot of lesbian comedians in Portland.
So I left Portland because I'm tired of the strip clubs. I'm not gay, and there's very little comedy. No, because there's very little comedy. I'm tired of strip clubs, and I'm not a lesbian. Yes, everybody knows Portland is the lesbian capital of the world. Okay?
I'm too old to switch teams.
Tag. I'm not only am I too old to switch teams, I don't want to sit on the bench. What do you think? I want to get to a new team and then be like, hey, Linda, you're sitting on the bench this season. No, I'll go back to the other team then. At least I got to play. I admit it, the players weren't that hot, but at least I was in the game. You see, all riffing off one logical. Do you see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to get you. By the way, what you told me is funnier than what you wrote.
Yes. Thank you.
Truth is always funny.
Okay.
I left Portland because no comedy scene. Well, I left Portland because I didn't love the comedy scene. I'm tired of strip clubs. I'm not a great comedy scene. Far too many strip clubs, and I'm not a lesbian.
Okay.
And if that joke falls flat, you can easily tag it with, oh, you guys know Portland is the lesbian capital of the world. Okay. In fact, if you're a woman, when you get to the airport, they ask you because they want to make sure you're not going to suck up the available pool for the locals. If you're from outside of Portland, you got to bring your own lesbian with you. Or have a note from a local lesbian waiting. Saving jokes is easy.
Thank you. That's good. That's some good stuff.
Easy.
And then
this is
easy. I got to Vegas just in
time.
I moved
from Portland to Vegas.
And I got here just in time.
For what?
For the shutdown. COVID shutdown.
Well, so that only has effect if you make it this way. You have to say, so I left Portland and I moved to Vegas. Lights, excitement, 24-hour gambling, free drinks, showgirls. And the minute I got here, COVID. I got no hours, no showgirls, no free drinks.
And I say, the street, what did I say? I got here, everything was shut down. I'm in Sin City, and there's no sin. No gamblers, no hookers, no hooker trading cards. How's a girl supposed to have a slip and fall lawsuit? The street.
How does a slip and fall lawsuit tie into hooker trading cards?
They're slick.
I defy you to show me the logic in that.
You walk on the sidewalk, it's plastered with hooker trading cards, and they're all really, really slick.
And paint the picture. No hooker trading cards all over the sidewalk. How is somebody supposed to have a slip and fall and sue the city? You didn't paint the right picture. No hooker trading cards doesn't tell me that you're set up. No hooker trading cards strewn all over the sidewalk. Now I see the picture.
Got it.
See the difference?
Yeah.
Very simple.
Thank you.
But that's what I'm trying to explain. And that's what your viewers, if any of them are comedians, should understand is that you need to paint pictures with your words. Your punchlines need to be logical to your setups. If they're not, you're not being funny. Whatever in your own mind doesn't count. It's the laugh meter in the room.
Got it. So I could do a lot better if I would have a through line on each joke, and yeah. I would have it'd be more logical by painting pictures.
Well, okay. So
both.
basically you took everything and put it in a blender. So here's really what. Hold on a second. The punchlines. Where are you? I lost you.
I'm right here.
I know. I've got 80 windows open. Jeez, who needs that much porn? I'm kidding. It's just fun. Like I said, it's just uh-oh. Did I close you out? No. All right. There you are. So what I'm saying is you need to choose your words carefully in order to paint the right pictures.
Okay.
And you need to make sure that your punchlines are logical to your setup. So whatever you say first, stop, think about it, and break it down. Make sure it's what you're intending to say, so the words you choose are correct. Then make sure the punchline you're going to write off of it is logical. You can't say, my buddy and I went to the drive-in movies the other night. We fucked chickens. You know, that's the thing.
Gotcha. Let me ask you a question.
All right, go ahead. And then I need to eat food.
Okay. I had a joke tonight and I saw a reaction that I didn't like to something I said. So I'm going to tell you what I said. And I want you to tell me honestly if it's offensive.
Right.
Okay. So I never intend to offend. I'll throw myself under a bus before I'll do something else. So I go into this thing how I went into the military and nothing says thank you for joining the army, little Jew girl. Nothing says that better than putting me smack dab in the middle of Germany. But when I said,
so thank you for your service, American Jew.
Instead of little Jew girl.
Why? What does little Jew girl mean? How does that little have anything to do with the setup? American has to do with the setup.
Okay, so I saw a negative reaction from somebody in the crowd, and where using little Jew girl had to be offensive. So I wanted to change it. So American Jewish girl, Jewish, American Jew. What's not offensive? I really need to know.
I don't care. What's not offensive? People who don't give a fuck about art being offensive. That's not offensive. People who want to stifle art, that's offensive. But if you're trying not to be offensive, Linda, honestly, I would say,
stop.
I would say, I joined the service. You know, when you whatever you're talking about, wherever it comes up in your act, the bit would start out something like, so I know I don't look it, but I'm a pretty tough woman. I'm a pretty tough chick. I was actually in the service. That's right. Air Force. What were you in?
Army.
Army. That's right. I was in the Army. How long?
3 years.
3 years. All right. I wasn't that tough. In and out. No reason. No. All right. That's it. Okay. I guess I wasn't that tough. All right. Did you sign up yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I signed up myself. Tell me the fucking story. That's okay. I can't do this all right now. It's late. It's 10:30.
That's good. Thank you.
But
that's not a problem.
But listen, we will talk about this. This
Thank
is
you.
funny if you tell me the story. Don't try to write it. Just tell me the fucking story. All right. When I was 30, I was bored. So my husband divorced me or whatever it is. So I joined the Army and I thought, this is what I'm going to do with my life. And believe me, I didn't. I lasted 3 years. I wasn't as tough as I thought. Boot camp sucked, and I'm not dropping for anybody and giving them 20 of anything. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. Then you have to combine the truth with a little bit of picture painting of why it's so ridiculous. And then you go back to the true story again. That's kind of like that formula in if you want to tell it. But you were in the fucking Army. Talk about it. What's the matter with you?
Nothing's the matter.
You don't say I was in the Army and then make up the experience for the sake of comedy. You're going to tell me you were in the Army. Tell us about it.
Well, I don't make it up. I say the exact truth. What? What was that?
I'm drinking wine. That was a fly.
So I'm not making it up. I have, like, I can tell you 3 or 4 jokes about being in the military that I do, but it's late tonight and I don't make it up. But I want to get your input on how to make it stronger. Because I think I've got the personality to pull off shitty jokes, and I want better jokes. I don't want to sit there and rest on my laurels with my amazing personality, and get the laughs because they think I'm the crazy old lady. I want jokes to work.
Well, if you want jokes to work, then you need to structure them correctly.
Yep.
Okay, and that's that. I mean, I don't care what anybody tells you. Jokes are like a golf swing. There's a mechanic to how they work, like a car engine. You can't just say, I'm going to tell a joke and think that you're funny and the joke works. It doesn't work like that. This is an actual art form that people spent years and years and years being great at. You want to watch brilliant TV? Watch brilliant TV like Taxi and The Odd Couple and MASH. And you want to know why those shows are brilliant? Because the fucking comedy is structured in a way that is correct. That you look at it and you go, oh yeah. You ever stare at a sitcom and you go, yeah, it's just not funny. It's because it's poorly written. Okay? Then you watch Friends and you go, God damn, this is so well written. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is.
Yep.
And
that's where I'm trying to go. That's why I'm not talking to people about this at my level or below. I'm trying to talk to people above my level. I'm not going to get better schmoozing around, a dive bar talking about what can I do better.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be work. We got to go through every joke and redo every joke and make them stronger and probably keep doing it.
Oh, dude, do you understand how long it takes to get jokes right? So when I say to someone, it takes about 2 years for a brand new comedian. No, for a brand new aspiring comedian, because you're not a comedian.
Exactly.
To get 15 killer minutes. Really. It's not easy. It takes 6 months for each of those 5 minutes when you're starting out. Okay, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to fit. I'm just telling you, this is about what it should take.
Are you kidding me? This whole last week was about not knowing what I'm doing, but I have things I have to do.
But that's not really, now I go ballistic at that because you tell me you've been doing this 6 years. You should know by now some of this stuff, which means you've been doing it wrong for all of this time.
Well, yeah.
Constantine Stanislavski. Do you know who Stanislavski was?
I know the name.
Constantine Stanislavski was a Russian Jew who was the father of method acting, who fled Russia in World War II with his troupe and went to Paris, the Moscow Arts Theater. He ran the Moscow Arts Theater, left Russia, and went to Paris right after World War II. Stella Adler went to Paris in 1946 and studied with Stanislavski from 46 to 49 and brought method acting back to the United States in its true form, not what her and Strasberg were interpreting out of Stanislavski's books, but she went and studied with Stanislavski, okay? And one of Stanislavski's most brilliant quotes is, practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So if you've been doing it 6.5 years, you've been doing it wrong for all this time. That's why you feel like you're behind the 8 ball.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's an easy fix.
Absolutely. Now I got some information from you tonight to go through my jokes and paint pictures.
You and everybody else. And if anybody who is watching thinks I should teach.
Yes, let him teach you. I've gotten so many jokes from him.
Tell them, let you know. I want to know, Linda, if people write in and say he should teach. If people write in and say he should teach, because other people have said to me, I would study with you if you taught. Like you have a way of breaking this down. Like nobody's ever taught me the mechanics of jokes, how they work, why they work, and how to fix ones that don't work.
I will put this post out and I will say, listen to him and tell me if you don't think he should teach.
They might also not like me.
It doesn't matter. You need somebody who's going to talk to you straight. And that's what you do.
I tell people when I taught acting, I go, look, you know what? If you're looking to be coddled or told that you're brilliant all day long, get the fuck out. I would say it just like this: get the fuck out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not here to tell you you're brilliant.
I don't want anybody to tell me that.
I said, if you're brilliant, you don't need to be here.
Thank you.
I'm here to help you become brilliant.
There we are. Now we're talking. I don't want anybody to give me a compliment. I am not compliment worthy yet. I did the best I could tonight. It's not good enough for me. I rest my case.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to let you go back to your porn.
I was joking about the porn. I really want some food, and I think I want to watch a movie. And
what movie are you going to watch?
I have a Bulgarian model in town I need to talk to. What?
Wow.
Well,
all right.
She is Bulgarian.
All righty.
I don't know if Bulgarian is good. Bulgarian is like wheat, you know, Bulgar wheat. It's like she's Bulgarian. What is she? She's made of fucking barley.
What is it with people that say that wordplay is the lowest form of comedy? I get it with puns, but
it's not. Puns are.
Right. And they put puns and wordplay together.
Well, people who can't do wordplay are just uneducated.
Thank you.
Okay. It's basically saying, you know, you're not saying what I like, so it's fake news. My candidate didn't win, so there must be cheating.
Yes. Sounds familiar.
Those who can't, you know, I mean, look, if you're going to be a hater, you know, that's why I don't like care. I'm like, look, you know what? You're not in a position to ever call out something because you can't do any of it. You know, I listen to these people that stand around. I'm not going to mention any, whatever, but you know, they talk about them, pontificate about comedy and this, that, and the other. Like, motherfucker, you never been on the road, dude. You've not hitchhiked from one city to another because your shitbag rental car broke down and you don't have time to wait for them. So you're gonna leave it in the parking lot of a Dairy Queen and ask someone to drive you 80 miles to a gig and offer to pay them and get them into the, like, I've been on the road. Like, they don't understand.
Thank you.
What being a stand-up comedian is.
No, they don't.
They don't know.
The freaking sacrifice you've put in. All of you road comics.
It's not road
comedians.
Comedians.
On the road. Real.
You change the term from road comics to working comedians.
Okay, fine.
Because you can't be a working comedian in town unless you get a residency.
Okay.
All right. I've known Steve Pearl 34 years. Working comedian. Not a road comic.
Nope.
Road comic makes somebody sound like a low form of, oh, you're a road comic. Someone one night at the Comedy Store said,
I don't think of it.
Well, let me tell you something. Somebody at the Comedy Store one night said something. I made a comment about, like, well, you know, you got to get out and work. He goes, oh, you know, road comics. I go, road comics? I go, you mean working comedians? You mean comedians who don't stand around here 5 nights a week talking about comedy and pontificating about the workings of the comedy world when you're not actually in it because you're not getting paid to fucking do it? That's what I said to the guy. Like, how fucking dare you call me a road comic? I'm a working comedian. The work is out there, not in LA, not in New York. It's out there. You want to be a stand-up comedian? Go out on the fucking road and get paid to be a comedian. Otherwise, you're a hobbyist. You got a day gig. You do this like a fucking woman does, or a guy does dinner theater because they're married and they got to sell insurance to pay for the kids and they had to give up their acting career. And I'm sorry to sound like a fucking dickhead about it, but that's the fucking hard, cold truth. You know?
Wow.
I know.
I apologize.
I know people who never leave acting class, have headshots, call themselves an actor, don't go on auditions. How are you a fucking actor? You don't even do plays. You spend your life in acting class because it's safe, and you have a headshot, and you submit on Actors Access for non-union shit every now and then. And you call yourself a fucking actor? Go do a fucking play. Go do a play and send out cards and invite agents to come see you and let them sign you or reject you. Then you're a fucking actor. Go get paid $25 a night and sleep in your car because that's the most they're going to give you, but you got to do it, then you're a fucking actor. Someone said to me once, people tell me I'm funny, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know about doing stand-up comedy. You guys sacrifice a lot. I go, sacrifice everything.
Everything.
Not
That's
a lot.
what I was trying to
Everything.
say.
I've missed weddings. I've missed birthdays. I've missed holidays. I've missed everything for the art. And that's the way it is. And he goes, yeah, I couldn't do that. I go, then it doesn't mean anything. Then there's no I should be a comedian conversation. No, you shouldn't. You should do whatever it is that makes you need to. You don't need to do it. If you needed to do it, then you would go, yeah, I have to do it. There's nothing I can do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So all these people who do it in these open micer, blah, 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 you know what I mean? If you needed to do it, get the fuck out there and do it. Give it away to the people who are universally listening, not LA and New York, who are cosmopolitanly listening. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
Writing universally and writing for a cosmopolitan audience. If you're from a big city, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York City, Chicago, you're going to tend to write more cosmopolitan material. It's going to be, a lot of local references, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
Get out of there. Go fucking work. Go take your Mr. Open Micer who knows everything. Go take what you know, your little logo. Go out to fucking Lansing, Michigan. All right? Go to Champaign, Illinois. All right? Go to Dubuque, Iowa, and see how your local references fly. Then come back and tell me how funny you were, how you crushed it and killed it, brah. All right? Then
Yes.
Tell me then. All right? Sorry. Road comics? I don't think so. We like to call ourselves working comedians. To anybody who wants to put a fucking slander on that term, that's where the money is, on the road. Want to be a comedian? Go earn a fucking living at it. Otherwise, you're a print shop guy. You're a waiter. That's what you do.
Will you forgive me for saying road comic?
Honey, I forgive you for everything. This isn't even directed at you. I love you. But it's the truth. And
yes,
this generation of comedians, like have some fucking respect for the business you're choosing to go in.
Thank you. And that's why I feel sad that I said road comic that's offensive. I always thought when I said road comic that was telling people something wonderful.
You want to make 80 grand a year? You want to make 80 grand a year at something you struggled for years to get really good at and then be called something that you find offensive about it? By someone who's trying to do the same thing you are? That you do? Fuck you, motherfucker. I do it. I get paid for it. I'm not a road comic. I'm a working comedian. Okay? People who can't get work will call people that, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Tell that to all my friends who work.
There is so much disrespect in the comedy community for the legends and for all the people with so much experience who have sacrificed so much.
Why? And by the way, it was not like that when I started. It was not like that. It wasn't like that for a long time. This started about 15, 20 years ago. Why do you think that is? I can tell you. I know the answer.
Tell me, please.
Entitlement. Because these kids at 20, 21, 22 think they have something to say. Okay? Because their parents told them, oh, you came in fourth, you get a trophy. Where's your, that's going to make your art? Why are you interesting to me? Where's your texture? Where's that je ne sais quoi? What? Where is that thing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I have very little patience for that bullshit. Oh, I was 20 when I started. But when I started, it was 1985. Really, February 86. I grew up in a different time. I was politically active at 14. I was protesting Diablo nuclear power plant at 15. I had things to say. I didn't know how to say them, though. I failed for 2.5, 3 years badly at even trying to believe me. It was hard. But I was not entitled. I sat in the back of the room till 2 in the fucking morning waiting for Jamie Masada to put me on. Are you joking me? No. this entitlement and shows and memes. Headliner, you're not. Excuse. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the internet and the computers have made it easy for people to create their own reality.
Yes.
So when you try to tell somebody, well, your reality isn't based on actual facts or truth of the situation, they then get angry. Oh, well, you're just a road comic. I'm not just a road comic. I'm the guy getting paid to do stand-up comedy.
So I don't ever want to say that ever again. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. You could even say guys who work on the road. You could even say, you could say road animals. We used to call ourselves road animals. There was a guy who killed himself. May he rest in peace, Adam Leslie. Adam was a fucking legend. And for many, many years, there was a magazine called Comedy USA. And every comedy club you walked into had Comedy USA there. And Adam Leslie had a fucking column in Comedy USA. I read it every fucking month. The Road Animal. And that's what we were. We're road animals because that's what you do. You get in the car, you go on the road. You get to a point where eventually you get to fly and get picked up, and maybe your feature picks you up and drives you around. And then maybe you get to work with celebrities and it's different at that level and blah, blah. But when you go on the road, like you, I would say get on the phone. You got 15 minutes. You're in Vegas. I would get on the phone. I'd call every comedy club in Washington, every comedy club in Oregon, every comedy club in Northern California, casinos. Google stand-up comedy Northern California, stand-up comedy Oregon. Call all those clubs. Tell them, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I want to do the following, and this is what I do, and I'm not looking to come in and feature. I'm an opening act. So what do you pay your local openers? $75? Great. Is there a room? No? Fine. I'll figure it out. But I would like to come in and work for you. And you get on the phone and you get 3-4 weeks of workbook. Guess what you are? On the road.
Okay, so what if I don't drive and I need to find somebody else that's going around and...
You need to drive.
All right.
You got to drive. I mean, driving it's part of the job. Unfortunately, unless you work in a team, maybe you got a partner and your partner does the driving. But I mean...
You mean a comedy team?
Yeah. If you're a duo, for example. But when you go on the road, you got to drive. I mean, that's...
What about features and headliners that take an opener?
Now, if you're lucky enough to get with a guy like that, then it makes it easier. Now, times have changed. Back in the day, it wasn't so much of that. So even as feature acts, you're running around the country. You're storms and whatever. But a lot of guys take their own features now. I take features with me. You know what I'm saying? So that makes it a little bit different, and it cuts down on the amount of available feature work. But it doesn't mean that's all the available feature work. Do you not drive?
Well, I had the brain trauma in 1996, and I'm a little bit afraid to drive.
24 years ago.
What?
24 years ago. Mm-hmm. Have you been okay since then? Get a car. Get a car. Can I tell you something? Get a car. Go on the road. Go be funny. Go share what you're doing. There's not a lot of 70-year-old women out there telling women like, look, I'm alive, be alive. Tell your fucking deadbeat fat husbands who won't fuck you that you want a divorce, and go fucking, you will change people. You will have a voice. You will be somebody that people pick up on. I'm serious. If you do this right, I would love to see a real manager grab you, because you could get a show. You could seriously, you could be the mother-in-law on a sitcom. Like, there's 8 million avenues for you, and you've got 6.5 years in. Go get a fucking car. Let me tell you what happens. Let me tell you what happens 2.5 years from now if you're on the road and you're driving from Omaha, Nebraska to Keokuk, Iowa to do a gig, and you have a brain seizure at the wheel and crash and die. 2,000 comedians will show up for you. In other words, your life will not be in vain doing what you're doing. You've already touched a lot of comics. You've already made yourself somebody who has some sense of value. Be here.
Cool.
Go do it. Listen, what do you want to do? Do you
I
want
want to
to?
be on the road.
Then go be on the road. Then go be on the fucking road, and you do the best you can. And by the way, I don't know what your money situation is or what, blah blah blah. But if you can, like what I used to do, I used to fly to New York, borrow my friend's car, drive around the Midwest, take the car back, fly home. You can, if you want to, let's say you can book yourself 3 weeks and it's all Oregon and Washington, right? So you fly from Vegas to Washington, you rent the car, you do the gig, return the car, Alamo's the cheapest, unlimited mileage, and then you fly home. You do it that way. You don't want to drive from Vegas all the way up and then drive all the way home, because getting gigs back to Vegas is difficult. Once you're done coming down from anywhere or in from anywhere through Nevada, there's nothing. So it's basically just getting home. You know what I mean?
Just fly.
So if you're financially able to do that, you can also then call your feature act or the headliner and say, I'm flying in from Vegas. I don't normally do this, but I would be more than happy to pay for, gas and whatever if we can ride together. I've made friends still that I have to this day from riding together on the road 25 years ago. But get the fuck on the, I mean, what the fuck what happened to society where these people can't figure out, we didn't have the internet. There was no resources. Didn't exist. You had the magazines, Comedy USA, and then it would list comedy clubs. You get the you call the comedy clubs. They go, send me a tape. You'd send a VHS tape. 6 months would go by. You'd call them. Oh, I haven't seen the tape yet. Finally, after badging, you go, come on, dude, just give me a fucking date. Fine, come in this date. You go in. Then you go in the office at the end of the week to get paid. When you walk in the office, you know what's in the office? Stacks and stacks and stacks of VHS tapes, stacks from comics around the country trying to get booked. Yes, VHS tapes. No send a link. We didn't have like Google Comedy Clubs, Washington. You could join an organization called the Professional Comedians Association out of New York, started by Larry David and Seinfeld and a bunch of guys out of New York right after the comedy strike in 78. The PCA had a comprehensive list of all the comedy clubs in the country. It also had a contract you could send the booker when he booked you. He would never sign it. Go fuck yourself. There was no union. It was an association. They offered a health plan that did very little. I mean, the best thing the PCA had, literally, honestly, was that list. And I still have some of my old PCA stuff. And a lot of the guys who started in the late 70s and 80s, like, we were members of the Professional Comedians Association. And that's the only way. And you joined the PCA and you got this booklet. And it had all the clubs. There was no, the fact that these people can't figure out how to get on the road to me makes me want to put a fucking bullet in my eye. Like, how dumb has the general public gotten that you can't figure out? Really? Google comedy clubs, call them up. Hey, I want to come be an opening act. What do I got to do? Like, is this rocket science? Are we curing cancer?
Got it.
Sorry, I know I'm an asshole.
No, I love this.
No, I'm an asshole. People look at me.
No, you're not an asshole.
I'm an asshole. I don't mean to be. I just, you know what it is? Here's the real truth. I love people so much that I give them the benefit of the doubt with high expectations. I think that people have the capability to not have to be led around by the nose. But society has worked very hard since 1980 to dumb down the masses. That's been, since Reagan came in, notice how much money to public education has been cut. Okay? The idea is to dumb down the masses. When you have a dumb voter, you can tell them anything. That's how Trump got elected. Okay?
Amen.
But but we're artists. That's different. That's an intellectual society. You want to call yourself an artist, you have to be able to operate on an intellectual level. And it doesn't matter if you're a chef or a ballerina, you're an artist. And being an artist automatically requires the elevation of the idea up to the universal level, simply because you're calling yourself an artist. That's the difference between the layman and the artist.
Wow.
So when I see these, oh, I mean, no, you're not. You know, and I really genuinely, for the sake of art and comedy and dance and food and humanity, I genuinely want the human race to take back its need to make information important. You know, that's what makes great art.
Wow.
That's why we have I mean, we have Chappelle and Rock, but they're not from today. I met Chris Rock. I've known Chris since 86, when he was 18, and Eddie found him at the comic strip in New York. Like, I've known Chris Rock my entire adult life. Chris doesn't come out of today's generation, nor does Dave. No. Who comes out of today that you guys can claim is brilliant? Where are the Pryors and the Carlins and the Rocks? Where? Tell me, who's breaking ground? Why do you think that is? Why is it still on Sarah? Why is it still on Chris? Why is it still on our generation? Why isn't this generation taking up the torch? Where is your 30-year-old genius with intellect and non-lazy exploration of fact? Where does that exist in the art of comedy today?
It doesn't.
Then why the fuck should I give a shit what anybody from this generation thinks about it? If you can't produce one brilliant artist in this field, not one. When I can go back and start naming Lenny Bruce and Mort Saul and George Carlin and Richard Pryor and Jerry Seinfeld, like, I mean, I can go on and on and on, and then it stops. And then it fucking stops. Bill Burr isn't of this generation. Fuck you. You don't get Bill Burr. And, you know, I mean, so what do you got? What do you got?
Who's that guy with the long hair that tells the one-liners? How old is that guy?
My friend Mitch Hedberg.
Is it Mitch Hedberg with the long hair?
Who died?
Huh?
Died?
No, somebody that's alive today that gets on stage and does one-liners.
Oh, no. Did
Mitch Hedberg die?
Mitch Hedberg died in 2005, April of 2005.
How old was he when he died?
30, let's see. I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know he died.
Yeah. But where are those people? You're not going to get them because this generation is lazy intellectually. And because of that, they can't raise the art bar. Okay? So they're lazy intellectuals performing to lazy intellectuals. But then you have our generation and the generation before us going, really? And I'm, again, don't mean to sound like an asshole. I'm not asking rhetorically. Maybe I don't know. Who is the brilliant, you know?
There could be people out there that are
Who are they? Where are they? Who are they? Who's managing them? What are their names? Tell me. Have they been in Toronto yet? You know, like, have they been in Montreal? Like, who are these people? You know? Look, I'm lucky. I've been, you know, able to make a living at this for a long time, and I haven't gotten all the breaks I've wanted, but I certainly know how it works, and I'm certainly very good at it. And I know that I can go on in any room at any time and follow anybody. Anybody. I don't give a shit who it is. I'll follow anybody.
That's a cool feeling. Because you've done it.
Because I own it. Because I know how to do it, and that there's nobody who can do it that I can't. I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it comes with the territory. If you put in the time, you're going to know how to follow anybody.
It certainly helps. The time certainly helps. And I'm
And
sorry I
work
got a
within.
little out of hand just now.
No, I'm going to post this and I'm going to tell people that you're available for private coaching. And who doesn't tell me right now, don't you think you'd make a great teacher?
I don't know. I wouldn't even know how much to charge people.
At least 200 an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
You look at all the credentials you have behind you.
I guess. Look, you know, I mean, I just fucking led a comedy wine tasting the other night.
I saw that. I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant.
At this point, whatever it takes to make money, since there's 9 comedy clubs in the country open right now.
Good Lord. Thank you so much, Richard.
You're welcome,
Chassler.
Linda. This was only 2 fucking hours, you stupid bitch. How many times have I said to you, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes?
You did.
God
what happened?
Fucking damn you. I love you so much. Now, by the way, people are going to watch this and go, oh my God, he called her a stupid bitch.
And then he said he loved me. So, and I'm a boomer.
Do I really? They don't know. You know what it is? These people would be offended by All in the Family.
No, they would.
Rather than seeing the brilliance in pointing out the hypocrisy, they would strictly look at it and go, oh, that's offensive.
Yes.
That's why I don't toe that line. I can't let art become something that is no longer expressible. I don't live in a place where I need to cater. Sorry. If you don't like it, change the fucking station. That's all I got to say for the rest of the night. This is the United States of America. If you don't like the song, don't complain to the singer or the songwriter. Just change the fucking station.
I love that. That should be the last word.
That's all I'm saying.
Thank you so much, Richard
I
Chassler.
adore you.
Love you right back. I adore you.
Back. Love you right back.
Okay,
Linda,
bye.
don't worry about losing tonight or not moving on.
Yep.
Some people are made for competitions, some are not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to keep doing them, but don't let it alter how you perceive yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
You. Bye.